If you're watching my vlogs back to back, then I look exactly the same. But welcome to week 2 of August. Last week I did stupidly good. I have like the stack still right here. I finished 8 books in a week. I thought originally it was 7 and whatever. Either way, that's insane. I have not read a book a day in years probably. I'm hoping for the best for this week, but I'm not putting any pressure on myself. Honestly, I've just been enjoying having noise going when the house is quiet. So it's been really easy to just burn through audiobooks, and I feel like I've been absorbing them really well. I've been loving putting Goodreads reviews as soon as I finish them, which I really think helps absorb the story, obviously. Enough about that. Let me tell you what I am reading this week. What am I reading this week? Let's just go through my Libby account, honestly. I finished Too Good to Be True. I still have it there, that way I can remember to write my review on Goodreads. I'm currently listening to Anxious People by Frederick Backman, and I'm about 52% of the way through. I'm really enjoying it. It has to do with like a bank robbery gone wrong. Basically, this guy is kind of at his wit's end. Like, he has no other options, and he decides to rob a bank for a very small sum that he plans on returning. The bank is cashless, so then he has to run across the street and runs up the stairs because he thinks the police are chasing him, and now he's kind of stuck in that apartment building, and he happens to run into a viewing room for an apartment, and he kind of ends up having to take those people hostage so that he doesn't just get taken away by police. And it's following interviews from that because they're still looking for him and they're trying to figure out what happened. But like, the interviews are really, really funny at the police station because it just feels like the police in general are not the best qualified, and then the people being interviewed are just so, they're characters. Like, they are characters. These are some well-developed characters, let me tell you. And I'm just having such a fun time with it. It's really funny while also just kind of, I mean, you hear bank robbery. I feel like most people automatically think like, wow, that is just such a unbelievable thought. Like, that could never be me. And this is kind of giving you perspective on, I don't know, I guess not judging a book by its covers. Then I have The Survivors by Jane Harper. I talked about it in last week's vlog. I'm about 8% of the way through, but I was having a hard time just absorbing the story, and I don't know if I'm really interested in it yet. I don't know if I'll listen to that this week. What's Mine and Yours? That one's actually gonna be returned soon, so I didn't get to it. I also have The Black Flamingo. I've been waiting for this for like months to become available. I will probably listen to that this week, actually. I also got Imposter Syndrome by Kathy Wang. That's on my TBR for the month, so I definitely want to prioritize that as well. And then someone reminded me in my comments for my TBR video about Over the Woodward Wall by Deborah Baker and it being a very whimsical read, and I'd completely forgotten about it. I have it on my shelves, and it's the story that's being told during Middle Game by Sean M. Maguire. So you have an idea of what's going on in it, and I really have been wanting to read it since I read Middle Game and loved Middle Games. I found it on Libby and it was already available, so I downloaded it. So I'll probably listen to that too. I don't know. This is a list. I'm not sure if that's what's gonna happen. I'm still waiting for a few books to come available, like The Ones We're Meant to Find and House in the Cerulean Sea. So we'll see. I don't know. Guess it's just like the second week. Obviously I have work this week. I have a hair appointment on Wednesday, which I'm really excited about because I haven't gotten my hair done since January, so it's really grown out. But the most exciting thing is that it's my hairstylist that she moved to New York like 2 years ago, but she still did trips to Vegas. But obviously when the pandemic started and everything, she wasn't leaving New York, and that's why I was getting my hair dyed by different stylists that were fine, but like I loved my stylist, and she's finally coming back to Vegas just for 2 days, and so I texted her and she's gonna get me in for an appointment. So I'm excited just to see how she'll do it. Like, there's some hairstylists that just read your mind. They know exactly what you want, and I feel like she can definitely do that with me. I'm gonna leave. I want to listen to more of Anxious People. I'm gonna actually do my reading journal, start it maybe today. There's some things that I want to change about it. I don't know if I'm gonna make a whole video on it yet or if I'm gonna just update you during this video, but I still need to do the printouts for it because I felt inspired by Amanda Rach Lee and also like my actual obsession with the Sour album by Olivia Rodrigo to do a Sour inspired theme. So I just need to print everything out that I've been doing. Let's do it. Let's get started. Okay, just a quick update. I actually finished Anxious People and I loved it. I think I'm gonna give it, honestly, 5 stars. It was so heartwarming. It has a lot of trigger warnings, there's a lot of serious issues going on in it, but I feel like at the end of the day it was just such like a heartwarming story. I'm so happy I read it. I was looking through the books though that I had in my account and I didn't end up listening to any of them. Gods of Jade and Shadow by Sylvia Morena Garcia was available to rent, so I downloaded that and I am now 2.5 hours into it. I've just been kind of in the mood. My camera died. I'm just gonna finish up on my phone because I don't feel like getting up. But I actually printed out the things that I did, that I compiled for my sour themed thing, and I have my bullet journal right here, and I'm just gonna journal a little bit. And I think Adam just got here and he was gonna edit our podcast, so I might edit later with him side by side. Who knows? So last night I didn't end up updating you. I did finish, no I didn't. I mean, I already told you what the book that right? What have I done? Oh yeah, okay, so I did yesterday talk to you already about finishing Anxious People. I feel like this light is not it. Okay, so I did talk to you yesterday about finishing Anxious People. I'm still listening to Gods of Jade and Shadow, but I'm almost done, which is exciting. I listened to more of it this morning just while I was like waking up and getting ready, and now I have 13% left, an hour and a half. So on 2 times speed, like 45 minutes left. But in the meantime, I figured I'd work a little on my journal because I didn't finish last night. Didn't update you much because I just kept working on like putting stickers in here and like X-Acto knifing all of the stickers out, which was, it took a million years and I need to print out more. But I actually ended up finishing it while I watched the new Suicide Squad with Adam. He had been waiting to watch it with me, so we watched that last night downstairs and I just kind of finished putting in my stickers where I thought they should go. So I'll kind of show you what that's looking like. Like I said, I really took inspiration from Amanda Rach Lee because she made it look like a composition notebook. I went on Pinterest and then I just kind of printed out some of the cute little like sticker looking things that I found that might go well with the album. I found a couple of things that actually just said album lyrics and stuff. I wanted this page to be kind of like a mishmash, like a colorful page, and then this page, it's gonna just say August, is gonna be like the TBR. This is gonna be like an extras page. I mentioned that I wanted to do my reading journal differently, and this is kind of where it veers off. So here it's gonna have like my books read chart that I used to do all the time, but I'm leaving space, like a few pages, because I want to start like putting in mini book reviews because I don't use up my reading journal for the most part anyways. And since now I've transferred most of like my video stuff into my actual bullet journal, I would want this to be just like an actual reading journal where I track all of my thoughts and stuff. So I don't know yet if I just want to like print out my Goodreads reviews, if I want to make my own reviews. Maybe it'll depend on which book I'm doing, you know, but I left some pages. So this page, I love how this turned out. This page, and I'm not sure if I'll need more. I just don't know how big these reviews are gonna be. But then this page, I think I'm gonna make it another like fun page, and if anything, if I need more, I'll put them in at random. And then I do want to still have at the very last page a like picture of my favorite book, but I might change that. I might actually start making in next year's journal because this one's done, but I might have like a front area where I actually just have, oh wait, this is what I was talking about. I did it for this year? Oh, I really thought that was like a new idea. I was so excited about it too. Being inside my mind is just so much fun. I steal ideas from myself. It's great. Never mind. I might not actually do that whole area in the back of that month to put in the favorite book of that month. I might just put them here. I'm gonna work a little bit more on that and listen to Gods of Jade and Shadow while I do that. I'm gonna turn you off, I think. Okay, my page is printed, although it looks like it had a hard time with the purple. I finished Gods of Jade and Shadow, but I'll talk more on that later. I ran my errand, and like I said, I finished Gods of Jade and Shadow earlier, right before that, and I liked it. I mean, I think I actually like this more than Mexican Gothic, if I'm gonna be honest, but I will say that I don't know, I like that Mexican Gothic kind of makes you think a little bit more, just because it's more of a thriller, while this is definitely more of just like a fantasy adventure. Yeah, I don't know, I did love the storytelling in this, though. I really liked our main character. It takes place also in the Jazz Age, which I'm pretty sure that Mexican Gothic did as well. This one was really cool because it had to do with the Mayan god of death, the one that rules over Xibalba. The only other time that I've ever heard that term was in El Dorado, which was one of my favorite cartoons growing up, like cartoon movies, but it's just so interesting to actually know more about it versus in the movie all you know is that like gold is being thrown into the water and then there's a scene where a person's about to be thrown in. You know, it was good though. I don't know what I'm gonna rate it yet though, because I just felt kind of like neutral in the end. Like, it wasn't bad at all, and I do like the ending. I just kind of, I don't know, I guess I do like the way this ended. It wasn't a very classic ending. It's not like what I would have guessed would have happened, but I still was really pleased with it. I don't know, maybe I wanted more romance. I feel like there wasn't enough romance, but that's not something to really complain about. I checked Libby to see what I wanted to read next, and I saw that actually The Wife Upstairs by Rachel Hawkins became available to me. So I tried not downloading it immediately and tried to listen to some of the other things in there, but I gave in because I've just been in the mood for thrillers lately. And now I finally got back to sitting down to cut these sheets out, and I'm gonna be listening to more of The Wife Upstairs. I'm 2 hours in. Yeah, I feel like it's gonna go by pretty quickly. That's gonna be kind of it for tonight. I don't know if I'll update you again. Oh my gosh, tomorrow I'm gonna get my hair done. Thank goodness, because my hair is just too long. It's literally, it's like all the way to the bottom of my back. Like the base of my back is how far my hair has grown out. And I wouldn't really mind it if it weren't like not fun at the bottom. It's not as thick as I want it to be. Plus I keep accidentally laying on it or leaning on it or getting it caught on things. Plus since it's bleached, it's just kind of dry, so it's harder to detangle. So I'm gonna let you guys go for tonight. Again, I'm gonna try to get some clips tomorrow, and I'll let you know if I finish Wife Upstairs. But not tonight. I don't think I'd finish it tonight. I mean tomorrow. Look at the baby. Hi. Pretty girl. Also, if you were wondering, my desk is a mess. I just have like my pens and stuff. I'm gonna cut this stuff out. Guys, I might keep up to last week. Last week I read, what, 7-ish books in 7 days? Or I guess I finished 8. Maybe this week I will also finish 7. Who knows? I'm not gonna put too much pressure on myself. I changed the lighting, and this lighting looks so much better than that entire update, but I'm not refilming it, so you're gonna have to forgive me. I'll talk to you when I put my stuff down. Got my little sunshine gal. Look at this little baby. Maybe I'll just give you my update from down here because I don't want to stop petting him. Got my hair done today. It's up right now because I was redoing my makeup, so I put in my clips, but I love it. Chachi, I might have to get up, my love. Oh, okay. Oh, sorry. I offended him. But yeah, so I got my hair done. Last night I finished putting in all of the stickers that I think I'm going to be putting in for now. I kind of love this. So I'm probably just gonna cut out the titles that I made, put them in, start actually logging everything I'm doing. Last night I actually finished, I don't know how I finished it last night, but I'm not complaining. The Life Upstairs by Rachel Hawkins. I liked this. I think actually until the ending. Like the ending, I don't find that entirely realistic. If you read this, it's kind of as the title implies, but Jane is running from her past, and she is doing this in a new town, and she's a dog walker for very rich people in this very rich estate, and you can clearly see that she kind of envies them and wants that for herself. And she happens to meet Eddie because he almost runs her over in his car, and Eddie is a widower, and he's young and handsome and loaded, and he's kind of into her, which Jane has never had because she's always been a plain Jane. And he gets a dog so she can walk it, and then they go on a date, and she finds out that his wife is deceased and she died with the other woman that had died in the neighborhood like 6 months prior. And she kind of sees her opening, even though the previous wife, B, was like stunning, and she's the one that had made all the money. She made a business from the ground up, and she was just like this unattainable kind of person. And then her and Eddie start dating. She gets to like have this whole life, but like maybe everything's too good to be true. Maybe the wife's upstairs. I don't even feel like that's a spoiler. It's literally in the title. They don't mention it for a while, I feel like, but it's pretty obvious. So I think that the ending maybe was just done too quickly. I would have liked it to drag on more. I feel like it was like building up to that kind of ending the entire time, and then it lasted a chapter, and then you're not really clear on what happens. I would have liked to see just more fallout from the climax of the story, really. What happens to Jane? I just feel like it's so unrealistic. I feel like the personalities that you gave me in this story would not have created this kind of ending. Whatever, I mean, it was still good, but I am kind of, it went from being a 4, I think, to a 3. So I still haven't picked out a new book to listen to. My phone is in the other room, so I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. I do have some editing to do, so maybe I won't pick out a book until I've done that. I'm gonna go. I want to take pictures with like my new hair in front of the bookshelf for Instagram, but I want to listen to an audiobook while I do that because it can take some time, so I don't want to, I don't know, waste time, I guess. I still haven't started editing, but that's fine, that's fine. So I'm thinking I have Imposter Syndrome, Survivors. Thinking maybe I should try listening to Imposter Syndrome because I'm kind of worried that if I listen to The Ones We're Meant to Find or House in the Cerulean Sea, that I'm not gonna want to listen to Imposter Syndrome. I've kind of been unmotivated to listen to it because I've seen a lot of people in my TBR video mention that they didn't like it. So it's made me not want to listen to it, but I did just come off of a thriller, and this is not really thrillery, but thriller-esque, I guess. Let's listen to the first few minutes.
June 2006. 1. Leo. Whenever Leo Gustave met a person of interest, he liked to ask about his or her parents.
It's been 2 minutes into the book and I already feel attacked. I'm gonna listen to it. This is the wholesome content you are here for, am I right? Look at him. He loves his little window seat. Look at him wag his little tail. In this angle, my hair looks super blonde. Look at it from the back. What? I am ready to be Manon, so my eyes need to just turn gold, and Chal over there needs to turn into a wyvern. Talk to you guys later. I didn't update you guys yesterday, but I actually did end up finishing Imposter Syndrome by Kathy Wang. I decided to end up listening to it. I really enjoyed it. It's much more of like a spy novel than anything else. I was honestly expecting for it to be about like Alice and Julia actually getting together. Julia being like this Moscow spy that now is in charge, or COO of Tangerine, which is a huge social like networking thing in Silicon Valley, and Alice is just like a lowly coworker that ends up noticing like a breach in the code. And I totally thought it was gonna be about them like getting together. I'm gonna say it now because that's actually one of the things I was most excited for. It doesn't happen. But it literally says the closer Alice gets to Julia, the more questions, or the more Julia questions her own loyalties. Like, I don't know, maybe I was seeing something where there was nothing, but I was still upset when it ended up being nothing. I think I'm gonna give it a 3-star because it was pretty good. It was just kind of like, I kept feeling like I was waiting for something and the shoe never dropped. It was just not what I expected it to be. I don't know. But I actually ended up picking up today, because it became available to me today, The Cheerleaders by Kara Thomas. I've been wanting to read this for so long. It's about Monica 5 years after her sister and 4 of her friends died in tragic ways, and her little safe town was left reeling of these 5 deaths of cheerleaders. And Monica is now in high school, and she's just kind of reminiscing on the death and wondering if the investigation was done correctly, and if there could potentially be still a person that's on the loose that could have killed them all. Monica now is kind of wondering if maybe they weren't all connected, or if there was something deeper going on. So I'm really enjoying it. I am a few hours into it, like 3 or so hours. So I'm about 30% of the way through. I'm enjoying it. This is actually so much fun. I haven't read like a YA thriller in a long time. It's just a good time. I don't know. Right now I'm actually about to head out. I have to go to work. I work until I think 6 p.m. today, so maybe I'll do an update after that when I get back home. But until then, I just wanted to let you know what I'd been reading. So this is actually kind of like a kink in my plan for the books that I wanted to read for this month. Iron Gold's audiobook actually just became available to me on Libby, and I've been waiting for this audiobook for months. I was obsessed with the Red Rising trilogy, but I never moved on to Iron Gold, and I actually don't own it physically, I think, ironically enough. I don't know what to do because it's a really long audiobook and I really want to put my full focus on it. If I do it after I finish The Cheerleaders, I'm going to listen to Over the Woodward Wall, and then I'll decide from there, like what I want to do, you know? Okay, gotta go, bye-bye. It's Saturday. I have work soon. I have to leave for work in like just a few minutes, but I wanted to do an update. I actually finished The Cheerleaders last night. I really liked this. I really like this. I will say, so I normally mention that like I kind of guessed a twist, but it's more of like I guess the process of a twist, not really like the fallout or maybe specifics. But it ends up not feeling like, oh wow, super big surprise. It's more of like, oh okay, yeah, that's kind of what I guessed, and this is a cool way that you did it. Now I will say that with The Cheerleaders, I actually guessed it specifically from the start, which I guess that could be like maybe the difference between like adult thrillers still for me and YA thrillers. It's just I'm more used to YA storytelling, so I can kind of see the fallout a little bit more. So that was kind of like a yeah, but I wasn't disappointed. I still really enjoyed this storyline. I think it was really cool because we're not only like in the current timeline with Monica, the younger sister of Jenny, who had died 5 years before along with 4 other cheerleaders, and we also obviously follow Jenny's timeline as well. Or not, is it Jenny? No, that's the friend. Oh yeah, it's Jen, sorry. So Jen is the other sister. There is another girl named Jenny, I believe. Oh god, is it Jen or Jenny? Oh, okay, so Jenny is the narrator made it sound like Jenny. Either way, the older sister's timeline is also explored, and I thought it was done really, really well. Like obviously it's kind of like the entire process, but it follows the steps that the sister is finding out in her current timeline. And I still think that like overall it is her reinvestigating basically the deaths of these 5 cheerleaders because she just doesn't believe that it was resolved. And sometimes that can feel a little like, oh really, a high school teenager is going to figure this out before the police ever did kind of situation, especially if the police were involved as they were supposed to have been. But in this one, I think it was actually fairly realistic. She was in a position to find out these things that like other like detectives or reporters would not have been. Like she had the motivation and she was in the right position. She was like the right place, right time kind of person. So I thought it was actually realistic for once in that kind of scenario. And I just really liked it. It was good. I think I'm gonna give it a 4-star just because, again, I did really specifically guess the twist and, like, I guess what really happened, but it was good. I really enjoyed this. So I've been looking for another book to read all day today. I'm just not in the mood yet, I don't think, for Over the Woodward Wall. Now I'm back in a thrillery kind of mood, but there's no thrillers on my list that I have currently. I haven't started anything yet. I don't know. And I do have work today, but there would go my 1 book a day streak. That's okay. I didn't really expect it to last, if I'm gonna be honest. I'll let you know if I end up finding anything. Right now, I just want to finish up a couple of thumbnails. Adam finished editing our new podcast episode a while ago, like a few days ago, and I keep forgetting to finish doing our thumbnail for it so we can upload. And then I also wanted to, or still need to, just finish the last touches on my thumbnail for the vlog from last week because I was gonna post it today. But yeah, I'm gonna work on that for a little bit, but I actually am leaving in 2 minutes. I'll talk to you guys later. I want to find a book to read. Okay, so I never ended up closing out the vlog on Sunday, so we're just gonna do a quick wrap up just while I stick in the pictures in the review area for my journal. So the first book that I read this week was Anxious People by Frederick Backman. I gave it 5 stars. I absolutely adored it. I feel like there's not much else to say about it. It's the perfect mix of funny but serious, but bank robbery gone completely wrong in a good way. I guess that's the best way I'd say it. Then after that, I finished Gods of Jade and Shadow by Silvia Moreno Garcia, and I gave this a 4 stars. It was just a fun adventure. I mean, I kind of do go back and forth between 3.5 and 4, because even though I liked it, it just wasn't anything that really stuck with me, I guess, in the end. But it's still really fun, and it was really, really cool to learn more about just Mayan mythology and El Dorado and everything that kind of revolves around it. So moving on to the next page, we have 4 more books. I read The Wife Upstairs by Rachel Hawkins next, and I actually gave it 3.5 stars. With this one, even though it was pretty cool, I feel like it was a really slow build-up and something that you would have expected to build up to more. The climax was super fast, and the ending just didn't feel entirely realistic for the kinds of characters that we were given. Like, the personalities of the people in this book would not have been okay with how this ended, in my opinion. So it was a 3.5, but it's still fun. And then I read Imposter Syndrome by Kathy Wang, which I gave 3 stars. Initially, I liked this, I think, a little bit more than how I ended up feeling about it, because the premise is really cool. I mean, it sounds like things that I would like. I mean, a spy that's infiltrated a huge social media company as the COO, and then a lowly coworker is the one that's kind of like cracking the mystery. But ultimately, it was just really slow, and I feel like the summary was extremely misleading, because just reading back the summary, it does sound like the COO and this coworker are kind of like building a relationship, and they barely talk. So 3.5. Or 3, sorry. And then I read The Cheerleaders by Kara Thomas, which I actually really enjoyed. This one I gave 4 stars. To be fair, this is a very predictable story. The plot is quite predictable. The plot twist was predictable, but it was still done really interestingly. I loved following both of the sisters, both the older sister who is already dead and the younger sister who's finding out more about what happened in that time, and that, like, you know, the older sister's living the events as the younger sister's finding them out. I just felt like it was really cool. And then the one that I talked the least about was actually Pretty Little Wife by Darby Kane, and I gave it 5 stars. I loved this. I mean, it's a woman who is only really seen as the pretty little wife, and she's kind of under investigation because her husband has gone missing, and she was a lawyer, so she's just kind of like more cold, I guess, appearing than someone would expect from a wife, and so they kind of like grill her even more. But it was just so much more than that. Definitely check out my Goodreads review if you want to see more on it, because I talk way more there. But yeah, So those are the 6 books that I read this week, and stay tuned for next week. Thanks for watching, guys.
What beautiful creature.